So I'm just going to be using this kit from Primark and my Bonjour 24-hour felt tip liner, and I'm just going to be drawing in my outlines first. So I'm just following the image on the box, and I'm just going to try my best to copy it out. You could use a gel liner for this, but I figured this would be much more easier to use just a normal sort of tip liner instead. And it worked out perfectly because it's not too runny and it's not too oily, so it stays in place. And you want to make sure that this is slightly higher, quite a bit above your lip, as you're going to need that space to exaggerate it and make it more intensified. Now I'm just drawing out my jawline. Please do not do the line that I did under my lip, because that was actually a mistake, and I will be cleaning that up in a minute. This is very similar actually to contouring, because I am actually sculpting out my jawline. Now here I realized that I needed my eyes to be a little bit bigger, my eye sockets. And I'm just using the water paint. So I just added a little drop of water, very little water, and as you can see, actually it's not bad. It has a very good coverage for the fact that it's from Primark, and it's got quite good coverage with quite intense black, so I'm kind of happy with the texture. And it actually is very easy to apply, specifically also with the brush that it comes with. And I'm just applying it in, sort of filling it out, leaving the inner corners of my eyes to about half of my eyelid empty, because that's where I'm going to be applying the blue shimmery shade. Woohoo! Spooky! And now I'm just intensifying my outlines, just to make it nice and dark. Now I'm going to be using my Illusion Finer Point brush from Charles Fox. This is the 8500, and I'm just going around the outline of my eyes and making sure that everything is nice and neat. Now I'm just applying a little bit more color to the jawline, and I'm making the edges around my jaw a little bit more pointy, so it looks a little bit more sharp. I'm just applying the blue shimmery shade just on the space where I left it around the eyes, and just filling it in. I gotta say that I'm pretty impressed with this Primark product, because actually the brush is really soft and it's so much easier to apply than I thought, and it's quite a good pigment, so you don't have to struggle with it a lot, and all you really need is a little drop of water to mix it with. So now I'm going in with my other Illusion Charles Fox brush, which is the 8508, and I'm just applying light strokes with the white color and just filling out all over the gaps where I need to fill it in. And very light strokes really stops the striping, so it doesn't look all patchy. So do take your time, just doing very light strokes, and you'll be fine. In this case, you could use a little bit of a damp sponge, but I prefer to use a brush just because it's a bit easier to get into the small places, such as around the nose, like what I'm doing now, and sort of around the outline of the eyes. So it's a bit more precision, and because this brush is so nice and flat, it actually helps to go into different places of the outlines and everything, so it makes the job so much easier. I think if you do it with a sponge, it might be a little bit more messy. So I do prefer it this way, and plus I feel like it's giving me more color this way rather than with the sponge. It can make it faded. Now here I'm just outlining my natural lip line, and I'm just going below my lip line so that way it makes it look a little bit bigger. It is so easy to work with this brush. I'm in love. Like, this is the best face painting brush I've ever used. Now I'm just applying the blue and creating a V on my forehead. And I'm just using normal eyeshading brush for this, just so that it's a bit easier, and it's quite flat also, so it helps. And I just gradually build up the color, again the same color that I used around my eyelids, and it's absolutely beautiful color. Like, it's really nice metallic color. Now I'm just touching up where I haven't done my white bits yet, and I'm just doing my eyebrows, just filling them in with the same black paint. Again, I'm just fading a little bit of the paint now, just to make it a bit more fadey around the edges. Now, the gems. Yes, finally. I think this is my best part. And I'm just gradually applying it, trying to make it as close as possible as what I can see from the picture on the box. I then realized that I needed to bring the V a little bit closer, so I added a little bit more of that metallic blue color, just to make it a little bit more close and make it look more accurate. So first I actually tried to stick this on by itself, but unfortunately a couple of times I had trouble with it because it did fall off quite a bit. So then I decided to use a little bit of my Kryolan Mastix Spirit Gum, which actually held the stones in place and it basically didn't budge. So I do recommend that you use the spirit gum for this. While I was doing this, I actually realized that there were some stones that were quite limited, and they were for that specific use around the mouth and the eyes. So I've actually used the wrong colored ones on the forehead, and eventually I will be taking them off and placing them around my lip and around my eyes. So please do not apply the black ones, the black square ones on just yet, including the white ones at the top, because they will be going around my eyes and around my mouth, as I've made a little mistake there. So I do apologize for this, but please bear with me. This is my first time following something on a picture, and it doesn't actually show it quite clearly, so I've just been trying to improvise. Now I'm just sticking them on around the eyes, and then I've realized that the rest of the two squares that I had on my forehead, I had to remove them and place them actually on the other eye. I actually thought that I had enough gems there, but it turned out that I didn't for some reason, and I wish I did have a little bit more, because I would prefer to have more on my forehead. It was definitely not easy to place these gems on, because actually, you know, I did try to use tweezers with this, but it was quite tricky putting the Mastix gum on it and then placing it, because if I did it with the fingers, it was quite sticky and a bit difficult not to mess up the face paint. Now I'm just using the lip gloss that it came with, but as you can see, it's a really nice bluey metallic color, but it doesn't actually apply very well, and I wasn't too happy with that. So I would recommend that you use maybe like sort of a navy blue metallic lipstick or lip gloss, or just basically maybe another face paint, because that will be a better alternative. Now I'm just touching up again around the eyes, because it tended to crease there and be a little bit messy, so I just touch up again with a little bit more of that dark color. And I will be powdering this with a little bit of my Morphe eyeshadow from my 35M Boss Mood palette, just to set it a little bit around the eyelids. And that's it, guys. That's basically it. This is the finished look, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a subscribe and a thumbs up, and have a happy Halloween. Thank you very much, and bye bye.